What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Big One Robles, aka Stan Nelson, and welcome back to another episode of Top Deck Gaming. And today we are doing a deck profile on a very hastily built Revitalize deck. The reason why I put this deck back together was because I saw it being played at the tournament that was here in California over the last weekend. And, me being another player, I just wanted to kind of give another shot. So you're going to see a lot of different things in the deck, obviously, and there's some things that maybe you might not understand, or if you have better opinions on what could be played in the deck, definitely let us know in the comments below. But without further ado, let's get right into this deck profile, guys. So here we go. So I'm going to start with our turn zeros. Turn zeros, I played 3 Neji Destinies. Pretty straightforward. Just the BR Neji. You give your opponent a BR, and yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good trade-off considering that he's a 3-0-3-0, so you know, injured and healthy, it's got the same stat line, so that's always helpful. Following up with 10-10, Endless Arsenal. I really like her because she gives the opportunity to draw an extra card, and considering like 98% of the deck is Earth, you never really have to worry about discarding top 3 cards of your deck. And let's just say, for instance, that you did actually want to, because the deck does revolve around, you getting rid of your deck as fast as possible. You can definitely hit her other effect with, if you have like a lightning card in your hand or like a fire card, whatever it is. So she definitely comes in handy. The man himself, Choji Akimichi. This guy's pretty much self-explanatory. He buffs himself whenever your opponent wins battle awards, and he also has a Revitalize, so he fits the theme. Last turn zeros, we got Naruto, Control of Power. This guy basically says discard top 2 cards of your deck and give him +1/+0 during the turn. You can use that effect 3 times per turn. And because the concept of the deck is to kind of get through what you need, he's definitely a strong ninja for the deck. And like every Naruto, he's stronger, healthy, and he has a valid effect.
Injured.
Yeah, thank you. He's stronger, injured. Turn 1, the main bitch herself, Hanabi Hyuga. I mean, if you don't know what this card does by now, then you've been living underneath a rock. She, helps filter throughout the deck, especially when you're trying to get Jutsu to your hand, so she's very helpful. Other turn 1s, I played Yamato Childhood, just for the additional ability to draw a card. I really enjoy her effect. She's just kind of in here to help filter as well, and and plus the 2 mental power, she makes a good hit for like Shikamaru's decision. Last turn 1, I played 1 Iruka. I like him because the deck does play clients, and he's kind of she's more of just a tech card. And so if you're trying to look for your client Giant Eagle, and you don't have one in play, you can search out your deck and put one into play, so it helps you set up for your next turn. Turn 2s, I played 3 of the Shikamaru, Supreme Strategist. This guy's pretty cool. Whenever he's sent out to battle, you look at the bottom card of your deck, and if that card is a Revitalized card, it goes to your hand. So it helps you get exactly what you need in your hand, especially when you know what's going to be on the bottom of your deck with the whole Revitalize effect. If for whatever reason you don't hit Revitalize, you discard the top of the cards of your deck. Again, it's not a huge loss because most of these cards have Revitalize in the name, and so when those cards get discarded, they should go back to the bottom, and so his effect will procs again when he's sent to battle yet again. And he's a strong ninja. He's 2-3-0-1, form with power as always. Good card. Last turn 2, I played 1 Ino Playful. This is more of just a tech card. Each player can have put into play more than 1 ninja per turn. Additionally, the effect tags of your opponent's head ninjas are negated. So she's definitely just for the tech. And if I happen to actually have Childhood out, she does have growth, and so if I'm done using Child's effect, I just growth over, making her beefy 2-4, so it gives her that good support. Turn 3, I played 1 Tenzo because this card's broxed, in my opinion anyways. The fact that you can pop off your tree jutsus as early as turn 3 is always really good. He's non-unique, so that's helpful when you have like Yamatos in play and stuff like that. And also, fun tech for this card is he gets an effect of +2/+1 if you did not play a ninja during a turn. This also includes your opponent's turn, so he's always going to be a 5/4 on your opponent's turn. So if that's something you might not have known before, so definitely look at him when teching in for like Earth Jutsus and stuff like that, and he makes himself pretty strong. I played one Zetsu. Again, it's more just a tech card. I like the idea of being able to negate my opponent's effects. Additionally, when he's face up in your Battle Words area, you can put him into play from your Battle Words area, so pretty decent. I played two of the Asumas, Mentor for the future. There's probably something better that I could have played in his place, just because anytime he's on the field, I never actually use his effect, mainly because I forget about it. But during at the start of your turn, you can discard top 2 cards of your deck, and when one or more cards are moved to the bottom of your deck, you can draw a card, and then your opponent can negate that effect by discarding a card from his hand. Most of the time, they're going to let you draw the card because your opponent typically wants to keep their hand pretty healthy. He's a big ninja. He, 6'2". He's not half bad. He's just a really good curve for turn 4. Again, I don't use his effect that often, but it's always there if you need it. I played 2 of these Yamato. This guy's pretty cool. This guy is one of the he's one of the main cogs in the deck. I hardly ever actually deploy him just because you want to get his effect off, and it says when this ninja's in your hand, you can discard him, and then you discard the top 5 cards of your deck. And then once you've done that, you draw a card. So basically, he draws you a card, he gets through your deck, like the whole concept of the deck is about. And then because he has Revitalize, and when you discard him, he goes to the bottom. So he's going to constantly be there. Combo that with Shikamaru, you're going to get him back, and you're going to get all the goodies that you need. Hopefully the ones that weren't discarded already, like some of the Jutsus don't have Revitalize, and sometimes you need those to, keep the pace. But he's definitely a good card. And, for instance, even if you don't need to run through the deck anymore, he is a viable turn 5 ninja drop. I played one other Yamato. Planning. This guy's great. If you have combined with power 12 or more, you can move 1 Jutsu Rich card from your discard pile back to your hand. He's just an overall really good card. He's typically the Yamato that that I would choose to play over the other turn 5 that I just showed you. So because you want the other one's effect, and you want his effect too, but he's a very, very good card. Right into turn 6s, we have the first Hokage, leader of the Senju. He's just the revitalized Hokage. Anytime cards are moved to the bottom of your deck, you can make a ninja when your opponent's ninja is a standby ninja, which is pretty decent. He's not my favorite Hokage, but again, I just want to keep with the theme of Revitalize, which he has. Honestly, I'd probably rather play like the Battle Words Hokage, just because if your early game isn't here in the deck, it's very easy just to give your opponent Battle Words, and so sometimes you have to be able to circumvent that by being able to gain them back. So you can play either one, but I put him in just because he does fit the theme. I played 1 Toby. Man of Mystery, Mom. Toby's Toby, right? Pretty good card. Draw 2, discard, and again, fits his effect actually really does fit the theme of the deck, because you can just discard a Revitalize card. That card's going back to the bottom of your deck. So, Mom Toby, pretty good card. I was going to play 3 Giant Eagles, but I felt that was excessive. So, I only played the 2 Giant Eagles because I do play the Iruka, who can search out the client. So that's why I opted not to play the 3rd one. I just felt like 3 clients was kind of much, especially when I can fill a spot in with a ninja drop. So Giant Eagle, if any of your cards are discarded, or 2 or more of your cards are discarded, you can move one of those to your hand, which is really good because most of the effects in this deck definitely get rid of the cards in your deck, and so you move one of those cards to your hand that you really want. And then boom, you discard a card from your hand, and because it's revitalized, that card is usually just going to the bottom of your deck. Also, additionally, he has an effect of where your discard pile cannot be affected by effects. So really good if, let's say you're playing like a mill deck or something, and your opponent finds a way to get rid of your entire deck, because I know there are cards like that, and Giant Eagle says, no thank you. So that was the ninjas and clients, going straight into jutsus. Defensive jutsus, HR against palms rotation, it blankets your team, keeps them healthy. Additionally, extra Byakugan cannot receive damage during the turn. I played 2 Howl, another defensive type jutsu. Makes a ninja standby. So, very good. Cheap, I played 2 Earth Style Mud Walls. This card's pretty neat. Its cost requirements 3 or more. It targets 1 ninja opposing the user. If the user's interest cost is less than or equal to the user's, you discard it. In that case, your opponent can put one of your battle words back to their hand. But it gets rid of a ninja, so it's pretty good. And it only requires interest cost 3 or more. I played 1 Wood Style, 4 Pillars Jutsu. Makes all opposing teams battling against you standbys. This card speaks for itself. It's one of many games, especially in my other BR deck. Or in my BR deck, I played this card. It's recently been banned to 1 or hit to 1. If I could play more, I definitely would. But this card was always worth a spot in the deck just because it's very powerful. The MVP of the deck, obviously, is the spontaneous tree summoning. If your deck has 15 or less cards, this card itself becomes free. You can pay it with no cost. Additionally, if you have 10 or less cards in your deck, it just auto masteries and goes back to your hand. So you can play it again, and what this does is it targets a ninja on the field, makes it a standby ninja. Additionally, that ninja cannot be sent out during the next turn. So basically, you hit all their ninjas, you're going in for 6 battle words, they can't be sent to battle, your opponent really can't do anything, and next turn and because it goes back to your hand, you just scoop up your opponent, because this card's pretty nutty. It's only at 2 in the list, and so that's why I only play 2, which, it's pretty fair. Additionally, it has Revitalize, so if you happen to use it early, and you discard it for another Jutsu, when you pay for Chakra, it's going back to the bottom of your deck, so it's always going to be there. The only way you're not seeing this card, honestly, is if you're the worst player alive or it's in your battle ward area. Which is another reason why I wanted to play the other first Hokage, because for that instance, if this is basically the win condition, you'd be able to get that back. Missions, competitive strengths, because negation's good, or it changes the effect tech, but same difference. I play 2 Sunin Senseis. It's one of the best draw missions in the game right now, especially with NEL being hit to 0. Get your opponent 1 battle ward, you draw 2 cards, good stuff. Especially comboed with Hanabi and Choji, you have a good thing going on. Play 1 training, because training's too good not to play. Hits a card out of your opponent's hand. Additionally, you're usually going to draw off the additional effect if you have the same or less amount of cards in each other's hand. And I don't play Hinata, but if you did, it gives her that +2 mental power. So, tech for mental decks, I guess. This card was just kind of thrown in because I wasn't really sure what else to play, so I played the next target. It's a permanent, it's a counter mission. It's a decent counter mission. It's unfortunate, though, that you can't just, play it on turn 2 if your opponent's playing a mission. It has to be put in play, and so really the closest you get the effect off is your next turn. It's a good card. It makes your opponent pretty weary about what they're going to play next, just because, they need that draw mission, or if you're playing like an MVS deck and they know that they need that card to win, this card is a good, little protective blanket for you. And then 3 Shikamaru's Decision, because why not? This card's really good. Searches out for everything you need, basically. If you use it with Shikamaru, you can search for whatever. Not enough good things can be said about this card. Additionally, if you search for a female, you just draw a card. So, good card. Last 2 cards were After the Battle. After the Battle, it just runs with the theme. Discarding a card, use your Revitalize card. Again, goes bottom of your deck, and then you just draw 3 cards. This is a very strong draw card, especially for this deck type. I could probably run 3 of these, take out Shikamaru's Decision, but I don't know. I guess I'm greedy, so I just played 3 Shikamaru's Decisions. But this is definitely a 3rd card that you can run. This is another card you can just run 3 of. Really good card. So yeah, I don't have a side deck. I don't have an extra deck, mainly because again this deck was kind of just put together. It plays fairly well. It has some pretty unsavory matchups. There's certain decks that just kind of steamrolled this one. Like for instance, if you guys looked at our previous video, I was playing my good friend Foggy, and it was this deck versus his NVS deck, and there's no getting ninjas in this deck, and so this deck gets steamrolled by that very easily, and especially because it's Earth, it does take a while to set up. It can take a while to set up. So yeah, it's a cool deck. Definitely not a finalized version of it. There's definitely some more testing that needs to be done with the deck, figure out different things that can go in the deck to make it faster, make it better, whatever it is. But that's why I like decks like, but it's cool because decks like these are more viable now just because the meta is a lot slower. Excuse me, I've been coughing a lot. But yeah, so if you guys like the deck, please definitely leave a like on the video, leave a comment. I love to hear you guys' feedback as always. And yeah, that's pretty much it from your boy. And so before we sign off, as always, for those of you keeping the Naruto CCG dream alive, we salute you. Go on out.